Good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I love the holidays, but it hasn't always been that way. I remember being a younger mom and just scrambling to get everything done and just wanting it to be perfect, right? As a young mom, I wanted my children to have the perfect Christmas. So they couldn't miss out on anything. I had to make sure that I got all of the things in, the ice skating, the seeing Santa Claus, the sledding, all of those things, all the parties, and I had to bake cookies, and I had to literally be Mrs. Claus because I had to create the perfect Christmas. How many of you can resonate with that? How many of you are exhausted this time of year? And I've gotten to the point where you start to dread this time of year because creating the perfect Christmas is exhausting. So then what happens? You start to resent this holiday season. You start waking up just dreading the end of Thanksgiving or even approaching Thanksgiving. For so many people, this time of year is really, really difficult. And not just because of the frenzy, but also it can bring sadness. This is the time of year that amplifies everything that you're feeling. You become like you squared during Christmas. By the way, my name is Evelyn Knight. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am so appreciative and welcome to the Child Care Business Coach podcast. Whether you're watching me live or listening, thank you so much. My heart is just filled with gratitude for all of you that I hear from every week, and let the messages keep coming. I really do appreciate it. It lets me know that I'm making a difference. So let me know that what I do and what I put out here helps. Today we are talking about the holiday season and the craziness of the holidays and how it can be stressful or how it can not be stressful. It's all 100% up to you. I do have a confession. I am fighting something, so I'll probably be holding on to my tea and needing some sips all day. Woke up this morning, didn't want to wake up, but definitely have some major congestion going on and keep getting the urge to cough. But we have to show up right regardless. So the holidays, they can be a wonderful time, or they can be a really special, hard time for you to deal with. I know for me once, I just wanted to be the perfect mom. Like I said earlier, right? I wanted to have everything perfect. But then I became a leader and first I worked in a childcare center and I wanted to provide the best setting for the children at my center. And then I wanted to provide the best experience as a boss and all these things, right? Left me 100% depleted. I wanted to show up for my husband's Christmas parties, being the trophy wife, the beautiful, dressed out, decked out trophy wife. And it just left me depleted. And it also left me not loving Christmas. But here's the thing, and for those of you who know me, think, what? There was a time that you didn't love Christmas? Because I like to joke that I am the female elf. If you guys have seen the movie The Elf, December, well, actually the day after Thanksgiving hits and it is on. For me, it would be November 1st if I'm just respectful of everyone else who likes to enjoy other holidays. But to me, it's like 11 months of the year should be Christmas and maybe we should take a month off. So I am the female version of elf. I am the person who's like, it's Christmas. And literally, yeah. I saw Santa this weekend and it was like, that's how I get. So how did I get to this place? Well, it's actually something, and I'm turning my notifications off. Sorry, guys. Something happened quite a few years ago. And when my youngest son was probably about 2 years old, I had an experience, and I was going to church one Sunday. And I remember just being in that exhausted frenzy. I woke up in the morning and I was so tired. And I just like, oh gosh, I don't want to go to church. Can I just have the Sunday off? I spent all day yesterday decking out my house and doing all the things I'm supposed to do, cooking with the kids, baking for them, making their special December breakfast, all the things, right? And I woke up just exhausted. But I have this thing I tell myself, which I don't like, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, but I don't recommend being as harsh with you as I have been with myself in the past. But I would tell myself things like, you think Jesus decided he was too tired to die for you? And so I would get my butt up and, okay, I don't care how tired I am, I got to get to church. So I went to church that morning. And I remember the pastor was preaching a sermon, and amazing pastor, Pastor Rod Idol, who will forever be my pastor. He was preaching to us and telling us this about like, what is Christmas really about? Is it really about all these things? Is it really what westernized society has turned it into? But what is it really about? And he really just dived into like him and his family and like, and just the whole culture that we've created around Christmas and the gift giving and all of the things. And it really struck me because, again, I love Christmas, right? And here I found myself resenting it. So I decided things were going to change. And like I do when I decide things have to change, I took out a piece of paper and a pen and I started jotting things down. What needs to go? What is Christmas really? And the conclusion I came to is that Christmas is really about family. It's about love. When I look at, and for those of you who are new to me, I am a God girl. And so even though I respect everybody's personal beliefs, for me personally, my beliefs do come through. And this is how I get my paradigms. And so I'll explain to you. Now, regardless of whether you are or not, the principles are the same, right? It's the same principle, but I'm going to tell you how I came to the principle. So I basically looked at it like, okay, Jesus sacrificed, he came to this earth. Now, I put it in this perspective of, okay, can you imagine living in heaven in absolute perfection and deciding I'm going to go to earth to suffer a little bit? And not just the death part of it, but just the birth part was such a huge sacrifice that I was just like, what am I making Christmas? This is not what it was ever intended to be. Christmas is about love. It is about giving because we got the greatest gift in the world during Christmas. It is about giving, but it is about showing love and honor and just that appreciation. For me, Christmas is a time of absolute gratitude. And I know we come from Thanksgiving, which to me is like the primer, right? That is like the primer for, and most of you do your whole November Thanksgiving thing. But for me, the joy of December, it is the most joyful time for me because it's the time that I can just really pour into people. I can just show how much love I have, how much joy I have, how much peace, and I can help more people. And I love that part. I just love being able to give. And so I decided that for Christmas, I had to stop trying to be all these things, the perfect mom, the perfect boss, the perfect wife. And I just had to really be coming from a place of gratitude. And I cannot think of the word, you guys. Like, I know the word, but it has, so if anyone knows the word I'm trying to say, please type it in the chat. But I'm coming from a place of gratitude and absolute generosity. That's it. I can be generous, right? But it doesn't have to kill me. And generosity does not need to cost you money either. Because at the time, I was broke. That was when I was just broke back then. Broke. Like credit cards funding Christmas type of broke. So I decided like, I can still be generous. I can still be generous with my words. Reach out to somebody who may be hurting this season, right? And just send them a quick, sweet, well, back then it was a phone call or a letter, but now it's a text message, right? How many of you have gotten that text message and it has lit up your day? It has just made you feel so much better. You might have been having a bad day and then a message comes on and it's like, you know what? Thank you for just being you. Those are the kind of things that I decided I could do and make Christmas about instead of slaving over baking cookies or pies or all the things. So I made a choice. to simplify Christmas. I made a choice to make it amazing. And what I did when I decided to simplify was I decided that Christmas was going to be about my 2 children, my husband, and that's it. And I can still be generous, like with my words, and show acts of kindness and do kind things. But I decided I am not going to just make sure I go to every commitment. I gave myself permission to say no and not to be the perfect looking mom. Here's the thing. So many of us get caught up on what does this look like? What does it look like if I do this and I do that? And we don't even know it. We don't know it. And I look at the children at my childcare center and I look at especially little girls lately, how their moms pull their hair back so tight that their eyes are literally that's painful. To get their child's hair in that position hurt the child. I'm like, why? Why? And one of the things that I've come to realize that basically is the mom I was as well when I was a younger mom, is that we get so concerned over what other people are thinking, how they are perceiving us, that we forget what is best for our children. That's it. Like those little girls, we're willing to create pain and discomfort and forcing children to get used to that just because we're so afraid of what other people think. And now where I am in my life, I kind of look back and think 90% of those people aren't even in my life anymore. Why did I give them so much real estate in my mind, in my life? Why did I care so much? My children are still here with me. They are not. So now I'm so thankful that I made the decision I made. And when I even went to my own family and basically told them, you know what, Christmas Eve coming up to it, we will do dinners, we will do things. But Christmas Day is just about me and my boys and my husband. It's just about us. I even went to the family and decided, and let's do not all these presents for everybody, right? Because I have a big family. And honestly, you guys, I felt so bad for my sister. I have 2 sisters and a brother. And my brother had 3 children. My middle sister had 5 children. I have 2 children. And then my baby sister has no children. And so when it came to Christmas present buying, think about that. She's buying presents for everybody. And then we would give her what she would get 3 in return. And I know that's not the point, but basically what we decided is a couple things. We first went into just doing family gifts instead. Let's figure something out that's fun for the entire family. And it might be something like a classic wooden sled. That was one year, something I gave. Just those cool wooden sleds, right? And then we went into an Elfster style. And if you guys haven't checked out Elfster, check it out. It is amazing. But basically, Elfster style is it's like a raffle where you just pick a person, just pick one person, and that's who you get a gift for. So everybody is buying the same amount of gifts. We're not overwhelmed with buying 20 gifts for everybody. It's just one thing. What we ended up doing as well is we would celebrate on New Year's Eve instead of Christmas or Christmas Eve. And it was so nice. And we would go to a nice dinner. So it wasn't messing up anyone's house. It was peaceful. And that is what I created. The other thing I did is for my own childcare center, I recognize that my employees are going through this frenzy and they're stressed and they're tired. So what we now do is our holiday party is the first Friday in January or Saturday. I'd have to look. I don't remember. It's scheduled every year. So we don't even do our holiday party for my childcare or for either one of my companies. We don't do them in December. We do them in January, right after the holidays are over. The reason I do that is because I know that my staff is caught up in this frenzy. And sometimes trying to fit one more thing in is so much stress. It's this week I got to go to my husband's party. And then we got the Christmas play. And my own child has a Christmas play at the elementary school. And I got to do this and I got to do that. And planning one more Friday night is exhausting sometimes. So we moved our holiday party to January. So the first week in January, but at least the chaos and that frenzy is over. So what I challenge you in this is find ways to make Christmas peaceful. Do what I did, jot all the things down and decide, what can I start saying no to? You don't have to be everything. It is okay to go buy the cookies instead of baking them. It is okay. It's okay to bake the cookies in January instead of December. Make the holidays last or push them to November next year. Look at, what does it really have to entail? Christmas does not have to be this crazy frenzy. The other thing we started doing at Zoo and Around is our Christmas play. We start actually planning for it, getting ready for it in September. That way we can slowly get ready for all of the festivities, right? Like our Thanksgiving feast, all the things. We start that in September because my determination to make the holidays calm and peaceful was so great that I decided, okay, how can we get all this planning? And instead of like just rushing and being so stressed out, we do little tasks every week for about 3 months. And we literally do that. 3 months, we might do the shopping, this and that, just here and there. And the children have been practicing the whole time and everything's been just flowing so that by the time it happens, everything flows smoothly and it's not such a stressful mess. So if you do a little bit of planning, it does go really, really far. And this week, by the way, you guys, we are doing my annual planning course. So if you haven't signed up yet, I know we have a lot of people coming, but make sure you get into annual planning because this is exactly what I'm going to teach you. Some of you guys are like, you plan Christmas in September? How on earth do you guys start doing that? Well, I'm actually teaching that this week. I'm teaching you how we create our annual plans so that the holidays, your entire year doesn't have to feel like this frenzy of stress. It just takes planning. Maybe one of my staff can actually, December 13th, you don't want to miss it. Shalon, do you have the link to sign up? If you could sign up. And if you're one of my members, you guys, it is free. You don't have to pay for it. So you can just attend if you're a member. So don't buy it. I had a member buy it the other day. I'm like, you guys, that's part of your package. So don't do it. But if you're not a member, you can definitely get in. And Shalyn, if you could get, that would be awesome. But it will help you to stop with this frenzy. It's basically a whole system I created for my own life that I now teach you guys in order to help you get a handle. I'm going to show Shalyn's right here. So December 13th is the date. So that it doesn't have to be stressful. You can love Christmas again. It really just comes down to, you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision. Are you going to allow Christmas to amplify the negative parts of who you are? We all have them, right? Are you going to allow you to amplify that anger and the bitterness? Because we do become bitter, and that's okay. There's a lot of things, but you can choose to let that go. Understanding that it is a choice is key, and being aware. Or you can be like me and absolutely adore the holidays and get to enjoy it and understand the true meaning and purpose behind this holiday. I know it's not always that black and white and that easy. I get that. I lost my husband a few years ago, and going through the first Christmas was not easy, but I still chose joy. I still chose to make it a great Christmas. My boys and I still had a good Christmas. Did we reminisce? Yes. Were there tears? Yes. But it didn't make it so we hated it, because it's my choice. If I'm going to allow anything to ruin a holiday, any holiday, right? Any holiday, it is my choice on how I decide to see it. Every single holiday, I get to choose. And I choose to be thankful for all the years that I got to spend with my husband for Christmas. I get to choose to reminisce on the happy memories and the fact that I did get 29 Christmases with him. Instead of focusing on maybe the 29 I don't get, I'm going to focus on the 29 I did. And that is my choice. And every single one of us can make that decision. So I just want you to know that if you're stuck in this misery and burnout, that is because you choose to be. And I know that is hard to hear. I do. I do. And I can tell you right now, if that made you angry, if it tugged on you, then you probably needed to hear it. And I may lose some followers and subscribers for that, but I would rather tell you the honest truth. At least plant those seeds in your mind so that you can start choosing a better life, because life does not have to be miserable. It doesn't. And I tell you that from experience. I used to be a victim and I used to be miserable. I used to weigh 300 pounds and just be a miserable victim. And I chose not to be. And now I can so clearly see, now that I'm out of that, how I chose that for my life. I chose a hard life once upon a time and didn't have to be that way. But I was stuck in my head. If you would like some help with that, please message us. In my team, I do have some life coaches that do come alongside. As a business coach, I realize we're actually performance business coaches, and we do more than just help your business, because from my own personal experience, I realized that until you start getting better, you can't make your business better. You can't really step up. It really starts here. It starts from the inside out. There is nothing you can do externally. So if that really resonated with you, and I can tell you this was not planned, I just realized I probably triggered some people. So we can help. Please reach out to us. Send me a private message. You can email my team and I will get these, you guys. If you guys know Brandy checks this email for me, admin@childcarebusinessprofessionals.com. Brandy has been through the thick of it with me. She's not going to judge or see you any differently either. She has been lived her own personal hell as well. We have been through the ringer. We get it. So please don't be ashamed. Don't feel judged. Don't compare yourself to others. Okay. If you're in that spot right now, it's okay. And there is help and we can help you. So I don't know. I just got a ping that somebody needs to hear that. So either message me or email us, because we are not, let me tell you, I have nothing to judge anybody over, and I understand, but I know that fear of what are they going to think of me becomes so overwhelmingly strong, but that fear is also what's crippling you. That fear is absolutely crippling. So I hope this was helpful to somebody out there. Even if it just helped one person, let me know. And also, if you are that person who needs to message me, and we can see how we can help. I hope everybody has a wonderful, calm, peaceful, enjoyable, joyful holiday season, because that's what it can be for each one of us. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.